I'm not sure if
Yeah.
we are.
We
Yeah,
are.
never mind.
Okay.
Another time.
How many weird sounds do you think I can make before you pick up?
Sorry, everybody. My kid's calling me. No.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Linda.
Hey there.
Oh, hey, Earl. Got a new camera. Hi, Adriana.
Hi.
Getting any sleep?
What was that? Was that to me?
Oh, yeah, I was saying, are you getting any sleep?
Yeah, actually, we're getting some good stretches of sleep. So that's been amazing.
Yay.
How have you been?
Really good. Good. Okay. Shall we start?
Sure.
Let's see, who's leading the meeting?
I think you are, Sally.
I am not the chair of the Performing Arts Committee.
I wish I were familiar with all of these things, but I'm not.
I'm not the chair of the Performing Arts Committee.
Well, I'm happy to start. So thanks everyone for being here. So we'll start with the holiday parade of lights. So I hope everyone has it on their calendar for December 11th, 4 to 8 p.m. And last year, the Arts Commission's primary role was being judges and designing the trophy. By this time last year, we sent that in, so we're coming up on a tight deadline to design that. So Lonnie, I just sent you and Cameron an email, but if I can screen share, Nikki, I'll show last year's. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, let me try that again. That's not working.
Earl, I have to say your fireplace looks particularly cozy in the background.
It does.
I don't know if it's generating any heat, but
It does generate heat, and I like it because it changes colors. See? Here, hold on. And then I can even go to blue.
well, for the city of Lakewood, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm facilitating a meeting right now. There is no pin. You just put it in and you put our zip code. It just asks for the zip code. 1966. Okay. Right. Sorry. That was my son trying to buy gas with my credit card. Okay.
So what's 1966, Sally?
Okay, this is a public meeting. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is what we did last year. And there's a high likelihood that the same organization can win again. I think the Lakewood moms have won a couple years in a row. So I think we should change the design so they have a different trophy each year if they were to get it, if anyone is to get a second one. So I need to know what that design's going to be and look like and ideas around that.
Sally, do we have any like photography? What are the photos that we have of last year's parade? Maybe we could use one of the photos that were taken of the epic reverse parade last year.
You know, I think the tricky part about that is it's different people's floats. So it would be, you know what I mean? I don't know if that'd be odd to have someone else's float on your trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything with the Santa, maybe, and Santa handing something to a child?
Yeah, or was there anything with the art commission people, like, because remember how we were all at a group like towards the end by Barnes and Noble by the fake snow thing? I mean, I'm not sure if one of those pictures exists or not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, because that was, yeah, but to Sally's point, that was the Clover Park School District float.
So was
With the
this
fake snow?
Right? The whole, you're talking about the school?
Oh no, the fake snow was the city booth. It was right after Clover Park. So you're right. Right when you pass them, then there was snow and then Santa. So I can snoop around and see if there's some of the Santa photos from last year.
So was there
anything
photo?
in Connections magazine that we could pull from there with regard to the reverse parade?
Well, anything that was used for that, Linda, will be on Jim's photos. So I'll just be scouring those.
If you need me to come in and help you with that, Sally, I can do that. I mean,
Was the award last year a plaque with this photo?
Yeah, it was on metal. It was like a curved metal frame that was self-standing. And then we collected their names and then had the placards made with their specific information that stuck onto it that we mailed out, and then they put those there.
How about doing a graphic with incorporating, like if you have a solid photo of the tree and then incorporating a Starry Night and City of Lakewood Parade of Lights?
We have, I think, a lot of good pictures of the tree. So that's a possibility if everyone just kind of wants to play around and see what we can come up with.
Probably use any generic tree and then maybe sort of superimpose snowflakes over the top of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have to use our city tree. It's just iconic to Lakewood. But I'm wide open if you want to think outside the box and come up with a few different design ideas. And so let's see well, I guess I'll just CC Sylvie, Lonnie, and Cameron on this because you're kind of the designers.
Yeah. I can work on something. I think it's just a function of how quickly we need to get it done. So are we thinking the same format, the same curved metal widget with the print?
No, unless you want to try something different. It looks nice when you have it.
I think it's fine. I mean, I don't know that we're really in a spot to reinvent the wheel right now. I mean, if we wanted to change up our award system, we need more time to. Yeah.
When's it due?
I hope we're sticking with that.
When's it due?
I don't think we want to get it in later than the 24th. I'll call Roby's and see how late.
Sally, on that,
like I said, we had it in by this time last year.
Sally, on that thread, have you checked with Todd about this yet?
No.
Because okay, I mean, I don't know if they still provide the same size stainless steel. I'm not sure, because I think, I think for my Ivan orders, I think they're only doing one size of stainless steel now, and I'm not sure if they do the smaller ones. And then
Oh, that's a good point.
also just between you and me and the group, I mean, Roby's has been pretty slow, over the last year when it comes to things. So, I mean, not to say that Todd wouldn't probably put his best, but I mean, they're just been slow. So, you may just want to kind of give him a heads up tomorrow and see if they have the materials and if he could do it. So.
Yeah, it's a good point that materials, that whole supply chain thing could be a thing.
Yeah. And I'm not knocking them. I mean, everybody has their slow moments. I'm just kind of, I mean, if we're gonna do this, we need to check with them first, I think.
Yeah, we're definitely, I think, behind the ball, given that how much longer everything's taken. So,
Worst case scenario, we could always print out a certificate and let the recipient know that they will get a trophy.
Yeah.
I think COVID supply chain demand things, that's another possibility. I mean, it would be easy to take whatever this design is, print it out, put it in a.
I think it'd be easy to make it look better, like the lights along the top. And I mean, I think it has room for improvement.
Mm-hmm. I think,
but I don't mind.
From working with the stainless steel from my Ivan art orders and stuff like that, I think the less background color we have, almost the better, because then then the colors really stand out against that stainless steel and that real nice kind of like, grainy kind of reflection that the stainless steel has.
Oh, that's true.
You see what I mean? So like if we did almost something like this, but no blue in the background, just let the stainless steel speak for itself.
Oh, and maybe just like white snowflakes or something.
Yeah, because that really makes the color pop, and it really makes the color vibrant, and it looks like it also looks like it's like, wow, that somebody printed that on a piece of stainless steel rather than, looking like in a piece of acrylic or something.
That's a great point.
Earl, do you have samples of your Ivan stuff?
Yeah, I got one right here.
Well, or I'm just thinking, I mean, if me and Sylvie and whoever, I would like to get a piece of that material in front of me again.
Sure, I can, but here's one that I right here, and this one's curved,
right?
And they printed, and this is like one of the first pieces I did like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't know they could curve metal, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. So, but as you can see, it's like there's no background. It's just like the stainless steel just speaks for itself. So.
What's the Ivan stuff? What does that mean?
Oh, that's the gorilla that we had. He painted this.
Oh, interesting.
That's kind of a side project of Earl's, but yeah. But he has obviously experience.
If you want to read up on Ivan the gorilla, you can do that on your own time. There's hundreds of articles. It would take me hours to go through that whole thing.
Well, I'm willing to take a stab at a design for this thing.
Okay.
Unless anybody else wants to step up. And Earl, maybe I'll just connect with you. I'd like to look at your samples there just to.
Sure. I mean, even if we did the tree itself, I think would be beautiful and maybe, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities that we could do.
Okay, so I'll get that to you first thing in the morning, and then let's aim for Monday. See what we can do. See if we can have something. We'll just see what we can do.
We can.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this was our judging form. I don't see it being any different. We have this we've advertised the same categories, so.
You're
who would-
still showing the award.
Yeah, you gotta go to your screen share again and choose a different
Oh, okay,
frame.
sorry. Oh, I think this is it. Okay. Okay, so you judges will probably remember this form.
Yep.
So you had your trophies and then you took this around. You kind of, went and talked to everyone and then huddled and came up with your decision, handed them the trophy, and then gathered this information, which went on the placard. So unless there's something about it that didn't work, we'll just use this. But I do need to know who would like to be the judges on December 11th.
I had a good time judging last year. I thought it was fun.
Okay, Earl.
I don't mind judging again.
I think Lua wanted to last year. I don't know that she got there on time or did that.
There definitely is a lot of walking back and forth.
Yes.
Mhm.
With
That's what kept me warm.
Yeah, no, right. No, it's true. But without, which, yeah, even in the years that the parade was moving, they're still walking back and forth. But we had to go back and forth a few times and relook at this one and relook at that one. And I do think this form worked really well. I don't know if you agree with that, Earl, but
Yeah, I thought it worked really well. Now, Lonnie, do you think there would be any, I don't know, do you think there would be any benefit to putting who the winners were last year on this form, or would that cloud our judgment? I don't, because I know we were discussing last year when we were judging, like, well, they were they have a really good float, but they also kind of like won like 2 years in a row and everything. And I'm not sure, I don't want to, I still, yeah, but it also would be nice to kind of spread the love around. Some of these people make amazing floats and they should be recognized.
well, that's it. If you do amazing stuff every year, then
Yeah, that's true. Because some of them just do amazing stuff.
that's a good question. I kind of feel like we maybe
I know you and Patty and I were talking amongst ourselves last year, on that same thread. So I just don't know if it would be beneficial or if it would cause bias. I'm not sure.
I don't think you should put it on the thing, because if they put the effort in, they should be considered.
Yeah,
No,
you're
no
right.
matter if they won last year, everybody
Right.
can just step up their game and do better this year or next year.
You're right.
So
So I have Lonnie and Earl, and then I'll send out an email to the whole Arts Commission and ask if anyone else would like to join, but we need at least 3. What is the number of
Yeah.
judges? 3.
Yep, 3 is the magic number on that one.
Okay. All right. I think that covers the event, other than just people coming and volunteering. Because what happens is we have to go and collect all the giveaways from the different floats, take them to the city booth, and then start adding them to the bag. So it's only a one stop. We're asking that the floats, like last year, don't individually hand out candy bars and stuff, because then it's stopping the traffic along the way. And that just ends up, whoever was working on it knows it ends up being a lot of stuff.
Hey, Sally, so where are the floats going to be parked inside the park? I'm still a little confused on this part.
Yeah, so where the farmer's market was?
Uh-huh.
If you just continued onto the grass, they'll be all along the grass paralleling Steilacoom Boulevard. So if you're driving down Steilacoom Boulevard, you could look to your right or left or whatever and see them. And then
so traffic is going to come down Steilacoom Boulevard and observe them?
If you were driving on Steilacoom Boulevard, you'd be able to see them.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And you have to enter through Angle Lane, though. So, yeah. And then some floats may be actually in where the farmer's market was, but that is the road which people are exiting out. So they come down Angle Lane all the way, turn a right onto the field, look at the floats on their right, go right into the parking lot and out the main entrance.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Okay.
so they're gonna come in off of like Angle Lane and, okay. I
Right, we'll have
gotcha.
the front entrance closed, only.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, that's a good plan.
It's a
I
really
hope.
good plan.
We met with the police and, we'll just see. But yeah, so, okay, so I think we're set for that. I feel good about it. Right now, we've got about the same number as last year of participants. So. Okay. I think next on the agenda is the Saturday festivals on Motor Ave.
Hey, Sally, before we kind of navigate away from this,
Mhm.
it might be best to keep the road that goes from the dog park to the exit from Angle Lane right there. That might be best to kind of still keep that open, just in case we do get clogged and people kind of maybe change their mind, they can get out of the park. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Exit out that way.
Yeah, and not get stuck in the park.
Mhm. So if they decide after waiting along Angle Lane, they want to shoot out right after the dog park and take a right, yeah, they can go out that way.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so I was going to share with you the Saturday festival on the street. I'm having such a hard time finding it. Here we go. Okay, so Lonnie has seen this because we had a meeting. So this is new for 2022, but we'll start advertising like in January because the first one's in May and our magazine only goes out every 3 months. So we kind of really have to have our ducks in a row. So you can see the dates are May 28th is the first one, June 25th, August 13th, and October 22nd. For now, that is what we have. And so this is kind of fine tuning a brainstorm and getting your ideas as well. So the overall themes are prom night, but prom night for the whole family. And then a jazz night, a Carnival of Cultures, which is like an international fest, and then a Day of the Dead. So we'll just drill down on each one, starting with prom night. Fortunately, when we were stuffing the gift bags, and by the way, thank you everyone who came to do that. We got them done in an hour and a half, and we had about 15 volunteers, which was fabulous. But they were there, and I said, hey, we're thinking of doing this prom night because I had a bunch of students there. But it would be for the whole family. I said, what types of themes does your age group like? And they said 90s, Galaxy, and then they all seem to come around to retro. They kind of really liked a retro theme. And so that's their input. When I talked to Mary, she said, whatever you do, just make sure that it's the idea that there's some tagline that is for the whole family. There's dancing in the street. I think the main thing is we don't want to exclude people. We want people to come to these events, and we don't want people to be scared away because like, oh, I don't have the right costume or whatever. We really want families to come out. So why don't you guys share your thoughts on this? And then what Lonnie's going to do is take it all and create graphics and a flyer for it. So does that resonate? Do you think that's not a good theme?
So I love the 90s theme, but I also I didn't go to prom, but I would have went to prom in the 90s. So that would be exciting for me to actually be able to attend a prom. But I was going to say, if you ask the kids, I feel like they're all about the 90s right now, or at least their interpretation of what the 90s were. So, but thinking about, I was looking at like doing a dance lesson, teaching dance or something. I thought it could be fun because we all like group type dances, maybe some of the kids never did the electric slide. So maybe we do like a really fun, somebody teaches all how to do the electric slide or the Macarena or Cupid shuffle, something like that. So then everyone can actually participate, because that, I feel like that was always fun. Any parties, any weddings,
Oh,
any,
yeah.
what do they usually
yeah.
do? That's kind of
Mhm.
that group dance that everybody gets to participate in.
I love that. Because I'm always the one that wants to know, but I don't know
But
how
you don't know exactly. So it would be fun for everyone to be able to participate, right?
I love that.
Are we limiting it just to like the 90s? Are we open to
Discussion.
taking it back a bit further?
That's just what the youth said yesterday.
Because I mean, in the 70s they were doing the hustle and things like that, and that fits in with what Adriana was saying with regard to everybody kind of gets up at once, and that would appeal to maybe older people
Mhm.
who would attend, who grew up during the 70s, maybe kind of like a cross section, 70s, 80s, 90s, that kind of thing. Maybe focusing in on dances that everybody could kind of get up and do. What was it? YMCA, wasn't that in the 70s too? Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
I just like the idea of being able to get more people engaged in like a group setting. I think you probably get more participation because people feel more comfortable when there's like maybe 20 people out there as opposed to, maybe just themselves and a few other couples.
Well, and I love that idea, Linda, because that was the other thing I was thinking of. Again, like I'm just thinking about my own experience, not being able to experience prom, but it would kind of be fun if everyone, it was a throwback to your time when you went to prom, maybe dress up to recreate what you wore to prom, kind of your experience. Yeah.
That kind of fits into the retro throwback theme. And that was kind of the one they all seemed to finally land on together. Like everyone could agree with that one.
Yeah, I think the general spirit of the thing is what everybody's saying here, like there is a wider variety of music, and yeah, if you want to come and dress up, we had brainstormed maybe, like a photo backdrop, or, there's all these crazy, depending on what year if you went to prom and what that was, there's funny poses that people do. And my experience with the current generation, Sally, you probably have this with your kids, is like my kids listen to 70s music because 70s and 80s, because that's what mama's playing.
ABBA's going down right now in the house.
Right. And ABBA's got a whole new album coming out. So I think that's what's beautiful about this, is that it's going to cover a wide range of stuff. So
ABBA has a whole new album coming out.
they're launching a brand new album like they're 30 years later or something.
Yeah. Interesting.
So Adriana, I love that you're so dialed into the kids, and you kind of bridge the whole spectrum here. So given what we've talked about, what theme do you think would encapsulate that without diluting it too much? You know what I mean?
I like the idea of the retro theme. I mean, that can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. That also includes our younger generation, because like they said, the 90s. That includes everyone, right? So it's not so specific. I don't know. What does everybody else think?
I'm going to kind of step away from this because this is not something that I would attend. I don't have a family. I don't have kids. I'm not, I think it's a great idea, but it's not something that I would go to.
Dance with me, Earl? Seriously?
No, I'm not going to dress up and no.
Okay, so this is where this is good.
I love the group dance teaching, and I love that idea, and I think that would be, great to be used in some of the other ones, but this is not something I would go to.
Well, okay, so this is super important. So if it was just called something about like a street dance, would you go to that?
I would if I didn't have to like dress up. Because I'm not gonna, but see, I think this is a good idea. Because I'm not saying, but it's just not, something I would go to, but I think this is a good idea for teenagers and for the family members in our community. Because I think that they would enjoy going to something like this and dressing up and kind of having nice tables and decor and things like that. And I think that there could be some great benefit to that. I'm just simply saying it's just not something I would go to because I don't have any children, but there are a lot of people that do have children, and that would really, and I think that they would really see the benefit in that.
I'm sure I would be going along to this.
I kind of like the idea.
I have
of
children
keeping
and a
it retro.
husband.
I kind of like the idea of it being retro and leaving it open to whatever prom year. So, because some people aren't going to want to come to the 90s, they don't want to revisit it. But if you leave it open, like the 50s, 60s, 70s, everybody can come to, whatever prom era that they want and play, a variety of music.
I think the question is, do we want to keep it prom if it's going to prevent people from coming? I think people know, like, if it's a retro themed street dance, that you don't have to dress up. Everyone knows that with a theme, it's not required. And we'd put that in the advertising.
If you didn't label it prom night and you just had it labeled along the lines of Lakewood Dance Night, and you played music from a variety of eras, that might not put pressure on people to feel like they have to
dress up
or in the era when they graduated or what have you. I guess I just don't know that you have to label it prom. And I'm kind of with you, Earl. It's probably not something I would go to, myself. But I can see that there would probably be maybe more people who might be interested in going and dancing under the lights to a variety of different music. And I think it's possible to create some really nice ambiance with that lighting, nice table covers, food, and the like, but not to make more of it than that, perhaps, just so that people would feel, I don't know, more welcome without having to dress up or other things like that.
Maybe just call it dancing in the streets or something.
Yes, Sylvia. Yes.
Lakewood street dance or dancing in the street.
I think dancing in the street. Yeah,
Dancing in the street is good.
Yep.
I was going to say, after hearing what everyone else has said, like Earl said, even though for me, my imagination comes alive when we have different topics to go off of, but would I actually attend it? Probably not. But if I knew it was, there's going to be music and whatever else, and it's more kind of like a community social event, I might be more inclined to go, rather than it being like a prom night. Okay, well, because the reality is I'm not going to have time to go get dressed up. I might be driving down the street and say, "Oh, that looks fun. Let me stop in and see what's going on."
I like the street dance or dancing.
That looks, I think that could work.
And maybe get a teacher that can teach a variety of different dances for different eras or something. and doing group dances as well, because there's a lot of fun group dances, like Adriana said.
Right.
Yeah, that could be the focus, really. It's just getting everyone dancing.
Mhm.
I just wanted to say though,
Dancing in the street.
yeah, this is so,
And I thought it'd be fun to have like a really cool hip hop group perform, just do a short performance, because there's some really good ones in North Tacoma.
But the DJ is important.
Yeah, DJ.
Yeah, very important. They could make or break the event.
Right.
Mhm. That sounds, easy as well. It's not like elaborate decorations. It's just super fun. And that is Lakewood in a nutshell. People just love to dance.
That'll be fun.
Sound good? Okay, that's
Sure.
super productive.
yes, and just go do want to pipe in. I'm sorry, I've been kind of on the road and driving kids places, but we have kids that are already just going over there because they miss homecoming, they miss prom, they miss dressing up, they miss doing pretty pictures. So this is really great that we're doing this. So just this is good that we're doing this, and I agree. Yes, everything you guys are saying. Dancing in the streets.
Okay.
Oh.
So after, we'll hone these themes, and then the next meeting we'll drill down, like starting on the May and June one, probably on like what's a great DJ to get. We want a super good DJ and so on. But right now we're just really going to focus on the themes. That was super productive. So are we ready to move on to the June jazz night?
Yes.
So the next one is June 25th, and that would be Roaring 20s Jazz Night and Vintage Car Show. So focusing on jazz bands and just a regular dancey band at the end. So maybe 3 or 4 different jazz bands, and then one good just rock and roll band for dancing at the end. More art-focused vendors, a vintage car show, where people could pick a fan favorite maybe. Maybe some displays from the Historical Society. Again, this was a brainstorm. Thoughts around that?
Can you, will you remind me or remind us, what were the times for these?
4 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
And what is it? What is Roaring 20s music? What, like?
Well, it's jazz. I mean, it's just a tribute to jazz in the 20s. That's when a lot of the jazz bands were formed. So it doesn't have to be Roaring 20s. It can just be, if we think, and it sounds like a lot of us are in the same boat where we're not inclined to dress up. It can just be a jazz night.
I think that's
yeah.
the best thing, just jazz.
I agree. Jazz night, and then just the vintage car show in and of itself is going to draw people. Even if that's all it was just a car show, that's going to draw a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I mean by art-focused vendors.
What do we mean by that?
Yeah.
We're wondering if it's going to create a certain crowd that would be more inclined to, jazz and art seem to go together as a genre, kind of. Would people who come to this be more inclined to want to buy jewelry and, made?
Just on a personal level, I think sometimes you can do too much. I think keeping it at a jazz and a vintage car show is probably enough without bringing in art, vendors who sell art.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought.
Easier. Is there enough for people to do? Will they be happy just with music and a big beer garden and food?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the vendors. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, I kind of like the vendors, and it makes it seem more, community engaging, I guess. I'm not really sure what word I'm kind of, trying to think on right there. It's just, but I don't know. But that's just my opinion. It just, it kind of just seems like you have local vendors there, and like Adriana. Like I would love seeing Adriana at some of these, shows, whether it be the market or the farmers market or something else. I mean, I always enjoyed stopping by her booth and chatting with her a little bit and everything. And so, but I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Where is this going to be?
These are all for the Colonial Plaza, Sylvie, that Colonial, where the 25th anniversary was.
So if there's
series.
vintage cars there, where will the vendors be? 'Cause
For the grand opening, they were all on the left-hand side. There was a car show on the left-hand side.
oh, okay. There's enough room.
Okay.
I agree
Well,
with
and
Earl
again,
on the
just-
vendors. I
think
just
this is-
think you need it. A few.
I think it's
Hey,
wonderful that we're
Sally?
doing this, you guys. I think that this is going to take, this is because there's no place the community can really get together except for outside, and we have the space and we're doing this. So I know I keep just saying rah, rah, but this is great. All the little details I know is just the devil is in the details sometimes, but if we build it, they will come. I keep saying that, but it's true. The food trucks are going to be important, and I love a beer garden. I think that brings adults. Yeah.
Especially
There
for like
was
a
a
jazz
restaurant
night.
or a bar right there,
Sally, I just have a question about the dates. The first event you're planning on Memorial Day weekend, is that kind of like a kickoff to Memorial Day weekend? Do we think a lot of people will come to
Oh.
that?
Good point.
And then the other one, the 25th of June, you're supposed to be out of town. So I don't know if that maybe should be scheduled to a different date.
I can barely hear you, Nikki. What's on the 25th?
You're out of
You're gonna-
town.
You're going to be out of town.
Oh, yeah, but the show must go on. Lonnie will be here. No, you won't. No, Lonnie.
That's
I'm gonna be on
Nikki made a
vacation
point
too.
though.
I will be here. I'm around.
Nikki made a point about May 28th though, because that's a weekend that people usually leave.
I agree. That's a sticky weekend, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people take off.
Okay, so the weekend before is the 20th. Actually, or the 21st. I mean, weather makes this venue so tricky. Oh,
I was going to say the same thing. That's like the trickiest time. I feel like historically it always rains around Memorial Weekend. So it's almost like, do we do it right after?
So if we went to June. My thought was it would be fun to have it during the school year since the kids can't have dances, but maybe we need to not focus so much on that. But I thought once you get into, I guess there's the 4th, June 4th. I didn't want to get into graduation weekends.
Well, and then we're trying to throw 2 events in June.
But I think that would be okay. Because
Beginning and end.
kind of out, and then we're in August already. But August and September are nice. So let's see. So options would be, we're looking at May 21st, or do you think June 4th is too close to any graduations, or is that, I think that's the weekend before graduations.
Yeah, I think that's.
Isn't graduation the 3rd weekend in June, like Father's Day weekend?
I think that's public school.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing in July. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, Summerfest is in July.
Oh.
And I'm gone most of July, June, July. But yeah, I think Summerfest, it's too hard to plan anything else in July. And
Yeah,
then
that's a little too packed.
July,
Well, and doesn't our summer concert series start in there? Like
and the summer concert series starts.
the convergence of like a lot of stuff all going on in the, 12 weeks that we have decent weather.
So we could do May 21st. So let's go down. We've got June 25th. I mean, we could do June 18th, which would be before I leave.
So that's Father's Day weekend.
Oh, thank you. That's Father's Day?
Father's Day weekend. So it's the Saturday before Father's Day, which may be fine.
That might be cool for dads to come out to see a vintage car show.
Okay, let's.
Oh, we're not talking about that. We're talking about dancing in the street.
Right.
No. Oh, I thought we were talking about the car show. We're talking about the jazz night now because it was going to be the 25th and we're talking about moving it to the 18th.
Well, I think it was the first one that was the conflict.
Yeah.
The first one was
Right. Well, they kind of both are, but so I moved that back to the 21st. Unless we discuss too early.
Is it still rainy during that time?
Well, it rains all through June too, so
Yeah, I mean, June's a gamble. I mean, I think as far as that goes, I think we just gotta set a date and hope for the best. I mean, Father's Day weekend can always be rainy, but we can't, I mean, this last summer, August was bad. So, I mean, everything's just a gamble at this point. So I'm just for let's set a date and cross our fingers and hope for the best. If we have to cancel, we have to cancel.
So I'm going to put June 18. And so I was trying to give enough space between them too, that we aren't just so overwhelmed, because also we've got the farmers market starting and then the summer concert series. And then so June's out and then we go to August 13th. So how about we go down to that in the interest of time. And this is the International Festival, but we felt that name was used so much we could do Carnival of Cultures. And we could kick it off with a 5K and a 1 mile fun run. And then have food trucks and vendors, activities, carnival games, international entertainment, roaming entertainment, dance bands. How do we feel about that?
Sounds great.
I think it sounds really good. I mean, I like all of the suggestions on the Carnival of Cultures.
I probably like everything with the exception of the fun run. I think that's an element that maybe could be eliminated.
What if we put the fun run on jazz night instead? Put it there instead of with the carnival.
I feel like it's a different population.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
Good point.
Or is it even needed? I think is that your point, Linda?
Yeah, that's my point. I just don't think it's needed. I think when you tend to focus more on great music and good food, and maybe some, in this case, what's down here is roaming entertainment, jugglers and magicians and that kind of thing. That's very intriguing. The carnival games, whatever that might be. But I guess I go back to my original statement. Sometimes you can try to pack in so much that it takes away from maybe some of your more core elements to the event. Like if it's about Carnival of Cultures, what's the best way to move that theme forward? I don't think a fun run.
And you know where that came from? We were going to do like a health focused one with like health focused vendors, but we couldn't squeeze that in as well. So that's where that came from. So, but I had a thought we could switch the dates here. We could do the jazz night August 13th and the international one in June. We could switch those around.
I love the whole international entertainment thing, just getting, different cultures involved. For the Carnival of Cultures, I think that's fabulous.
I think it would be kind of a cool idea if we could actually get some dance instruction for some of these different cultural dances too. Nothing intense, maybe just like, a half hour's worth of the thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, just because, some of these cultural dances are so intricate and amazing. It would be kind of, interesting if they could do a little dance dance instruction for some people that wanted to learn.
Mm-hmm. So I've got a note here that in June, Pierce College has an international festival. And that's why I'm wondering, I wonder if we move it to June, if we can collaborate with them.
Oh, that would be a good idea.
I need to reach out to Emily. And that way the international students that they have are still here and they haven't left the country yet, or they'll be gone in August. So, and then the last one, are we ready to move on?
Mm-hmm.
Is the Day of the Dead. And it's October 22nd. I did reserve the McGavick Conference Center room. I don't know if we got it, but just in case weather-wise. And there's a team that has met that involves the Clover Park School District, KBTC TV, Tacoma Arts Live, and a couple of the moms from the school district that make the offerendas. And the school district does like a virtual one right now, but they've been wanting to do something more elaborate. And since I started this job, I've always wanted to do an event around this. So the idea was to make a big community offerenda where everyone in the community could bring things, and that we would have stations to actually make like the orange marigolds out of tissue paper and candle tipping and sugar skulls, having folkloric dancers, mariachi bands, perhaps commissioning an artist to do the sand mural, and kind of an indigenous music show and tell. There's some people that do that apparently. And then have some vendors that sell the gourds and flowers. Sylvie, what do you think of this one?
Well, I really like the idea, of course. I love the music and having the mariachis, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Do you think is it just bad form to have something like this in September when we know the weather's going to be good? Because I took particular note of the weather on October 22nd, and it was so cold and miserable.
Well, it's the Day of the Dead is actually, I think, November 2nd, but that's too cool.
It is, yeah.
So maybe you don't call it Dia de los Muertos, because that's kind of conflicting, because that's an actual date that exists. Maybe you call it something else, like let me think about that, because you do, Lakewood does have a pretty large Hispanic population.
Yes, we do.
So I think you're going to get a lot of participation, but I'm not in agreement with the name of it, because I know when Dia de los Muertos is, and that's confusing. The October 22nd.
Well, even if we changed the name, but we had the same activities, would that be?
Yeah, you could just call it Carnival or Festival or something like that. I don't know. Let me think about that.
Sally, would it be possible to set up tents in the Colonial Plaza area to do these activities?
Oh, yes, we'll have tents.
Because if you did it not, well, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna.
All the events will have
De los
tents.
Muertos, if you, could you do it outside in tents in October? Towards maybe the end of October, closer to what Sylvie's saying is, it's like November, is it November 2nd, Sylvie, you said?
Yeah, I think that's when it is, but it's too cold.
It's,
Because even on Halloween, it was pretty cold.
Yeah, I don't know if the tents can have heaters in them or not. I don't know what the city's got.
But if there's a windstorm, like,
well, the problem is the music because of the chords. And so then you can't have your music, which is so important, I think.
Maybe move it up in the earlier in the month in October when it's still nice, or move it to September. There's I don't know about celebrating it, but there's a date in September. I think it's the 16th, but I don't think you want to recognize that. It's about some battle that was won, but maybe do it in September, like, because September still has nice weather and you'll get more of a crowd probably outdoors if it's still nice.
So can we still do the community ofrenda and everything? Or? Because all these activities are around
that.
Like as far as the Dia de los Muertos goes, I mean, as far as the verbiage goes, I mean, yeah, it is a day, but we could just make it play on the words, and we could do like maybe Celebración de los Muertos, I mean, and it would just be a celebration of the dead, and not putting it on, Dia de los Muertos. And in Celebración, I mean, sure, it's Spanish, but even everybody that knows English is going to recognize, I mean, it's almost exactly the same. So you're just kind of maybe just tricking the play on words and not making it the Day of the Dead. You're just making it the celebration of the dead.
No, how about celebration of family rather than dead? Because that's kind of macabre. I mean, because there is already a day, Dia de los Muertos, that's Day of the Dead, and now you're celebrating the dead. I think maybe a celebration of family, and you call it Festival de Familia or something like that. And that is more, I think, inclined to get people there celebrating family.
I like that. But then we'd have to pretty much change.
Not necessarily, because you could still, family is still ancestors. So you could have a section to remember family. And people can, bring you can still do the altar, but encourage people to bring their own photos of their family, because we're celebrating family. That's my thought, because I can ask some people in my culture and see what they think and get their ideas about it. But I think Festival of Family or a celebration of family, it would be probably better than doing Celebrando los Muertos or something like that, because that's really it's almost kind of a sacred day. It is a sacred day to my culture, and you're crossing over.
Can I ask, well, and we could still do activities to make things for the altar in November. We could make marigolds and sugar skulls and things for their altars on the Day of the Dead. But there's also a children's parade I heard that's really popular, like the first day of the day. Is that something that we could do?
Well, you could do like part of celebrating family is celebrating the children as well, and still do a parade of children, and let the community know that you're doing that, and they would turn out. I mean, there's so many little tiendas here in Lakewood where you could post your flyers, and they have to be in Spanish and English. and just letting people know what's coming up. And I think you'd have pretty good participation. Have you ever done anything like that before?
No.
So yeah, this will be really cool.
And Sally, the Hispanic Heritage Month is September 15th to October 15th.
There you go. That's perfect.
September 15th.
Yeah, 1/5/15.
So
15th
maybe
through
this
October
is,
15th.
yeah, Lakewood is kicking off the beginning of the celebration month.
So can anyone get excited about this?
Oh, I think so. I think it would be great.
I like the theme.
I will tell you, I was at Michael's day before yesterday, and I saw on their end caps that they're clearing all of their Dia de los Muertos
Thank you.
kits and things like that. That would be wonderful to be able to pick those up and have them stockpiled and ready for activities. You know, they had all of the paraphernalia to make these beautiful marigolds and stickers and all kinds of things. It was like 70% off or something. So they're clearing all of those materials that would probably fit very neatly into like craft activities, if, you know, during Spanish Heritage Month.
Adriana, are you Latina?
I'm not. No, I'm actually Japanese, but
Oh.
no, my son is. And so I was actually I was about to say this might be the opportunity for us to stand back, to kind of take a back seat and allow our Latinx community get their input on this and allow for them to kind of have their input and say in what goes into this. Because the reality is we're not experts here. If that's not our culture. So for us to, it's easy to give suggestions, but I think ultimately that's up to that community to really kind of take control of, if that makes sense.
Well,
Yeah,
it is
and,
my
you know,
culture. It is my
Yeah.
culture, but I would love for you to get more input from the Hispanic community in Lakewood. If you want to like make it more inclusive for, you know, instead of doing it for them, do it with them. Or with
That's you put it exactly. And that wasn't, I didn't mean to say that wasn't your community, but yeah, you said it perfectly. This is a partnership with the community. It's meant to be a partnership.
So drilling down on that, I've been meeting with Holly Bokey, who's the family services coordinator at the school district. So she works with those families, and that's how she pulled in all the moms that make the ofrendas, and they're on the committee. And Tony Gomez from Tacoma Arts Live is Hispanic, and then the gal from KBTC TV is. So I did feel like we had a good group at the table, but we can always add more. So if we were going to add more people, where would we, like, what's your avenue to that?
Are you asking me?
Adriana.
Oh, okay.
No, I think Sylvie should. That's a perfect question for Sylvie.
Oh, okay. I just thought since you brought it up, there might be a group at school or something that you knew of.
Well, I can I just tell you what I think?
Yeah.
You said that you had a little committee of people, women, and other people that were talking about making the ofrenda and the flowers and everything, I think you go back to them and you tell them that you want to do a subcommittee, and if there's one thing Latinos know how to do, and that's throw a party. So they'll come up with a lot of great ideas and make it pretty authentic, and you might even get like a Mexican parade of dancing horses, and that would be cool. There's some groups over here that do that, and it's pretty awesome. But I would put the feelers out to the families in schools, and also like even the tiendas, and just owners that business owners in the community, Hispanic business owners.
The other thing too is that if it's about trying to do things during this time period, and we're concerned about, it being too cold, then maybe we pass on craft activities, things where people will be sitting and putting things together, and we focus in on things that allow people to maybe keep moving, as opposed to, like I said, being involved in some kind of craft activity.
Thank you for that. Take a note of that. I'll bring that back to, and I don't want you to think, oh, I just developed this committee. The school district came to me, and so it was kind of like an initial meeting, because I was like, yeah, I'm very interested, and this is what the Arts Commission is doing. So that just happened really fast, and we're all excited about it. So, but ultimately, I think we need to have it in September for sure. And that would be like September 17th. So does that date look good? And, if the school district doesn't want to change their Day of the Dead, I mean, they're still going to do a Day of the Dead, I think, and closer to the actual weekend in November. They do it over Zoom. But we kind of need to do what's going to work for an outdoor event at the Colonial. The whole purpose is to bring people to the Colonial Plaza. So the events need to be suitable for it. And I think pushing it into October is just too late. It's not suitable. Okay.
I'm so excited that Lakewood's doing it. That's really cool. And I really appreciate it.
I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Can I pull you in on those meetings? Or at least let you know when they are?
Are you talking to me? Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll take that back, but we're looking at Festival de Familia, and it's kicking off Hispanic Heritage Month. And Nikki, when did that end? September 15th through what?
October 15th.
Okay. Oh, God, that is perfect. Okay. Well, I think you have enough information, Lonnie, to start your flyers design. Okay, Lonnie. Okay. All right.
And hey, can I say one more thing?
Mm-hmm.
On the flyer design for the one for is it going to be Festival de la Familia or Celebración de Familia? Anyway, whatever it is, maybe we get some Hispanic artists to make something as far as a design, because there's a lot of great Latino artists.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I was thinking kind of and we can drill down on specific ones, but I was thinking how the summer concert series has all the bands on one sheet. I thought this could have like all the Saturday events on it. And then we can also have separate ones, but one that lists everything. And that's what Lonnie could make. And then, yes, I love the idea of having an artist create the flyer.
Yeah, I think our initial discussions were the Saturday festival at the plaza.
Mhm.
So
So
the big,
I think what I was saying, I think we've drilled down enough that you can create that flyer. And then if we want to do individual ones like for this, then we can get a Hispanic artist.
I'll dive in.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. That is wonderful. I'm going to save this. And then Linda, I think what was next was your film festival. If you had anything to discuss on that film competition.
Okay. All right. Well, I've been really throwing myself into that lately. The website has been retooled, and I'd encourage you to go to the website. Just click in Real Life 96, and you'll be able to see all the details for the event there. There's a button on the website, Register Now. Registration is now open. And we have 32 spaces. 3 of them are already filled for the event. At this juncture, I'm just reaching out as fast and furious as I can to film departments at the colleges and high schools and technical colleges, inviting them to participate and be represented at the event. Jim Capriva, is that it, Sally?
Yes.
He has been doing some work with regard to advertising, Suburban Times and social media with regard to the event. And he is also in the process of pulling together a video to advertise the event. I've reached out to Paul Boyer from Hemisphere Films, and he is going to be pulling together a bid to do a video for the opening for the screening on March 19th, as well as the intermission and the return of after the intermission, and then the invite to do an Audience Choice Award online. Sylvia is working on awards that carry the theme of Real Life 96 forward. She's working on some ideas for that. Lonnie is working with me with regard to papering neighborhoods. We've been to Starbucks. I think we drink more lattes than we do actually have the opportunity to put up flyers, but hey, we're tenacious. We're getting it done. And then I have connected with some of you with regard to reaching out to maybe educators. I know I've sent an email to you, Adriana, to connect with people that you know in the district who might be interested in promoting the event. And I've also done so with Daryl, and we have some interest at Clover Park Technical College as well. So things are moving along, and I don't want to be remiss and say that Lonnie is also working on the venue design, and Paige and Daryl are also looking at live music entertainment for that event. So that's where we're at right now.
Hey, Linda, I know it's only been 2 days, but have we had any registrants yet? No?
Yeah, we've had 3, Earl.
Nice. That's really cool.
We have 32 spaces, and last time I checked, about 3 hours ago, we have 29 spaces now. So I'm anticipating that once word gets out a little bit more, spaces are going to start to fill up fast. I've gotten a lot of great response from the film department at Pacific Lutheran, Bates Technical College and the like, and believe it or not, Green River Community College. These folks are actively promoting the event, and they're hoping to be able to send teams. And Sean Geary at Clover Park Technical College, he's working with his dean to send a team from Clover Park Tech. So yeah, so it's percolating along. That's all I have, Sally, on that.
Okay.
I do like the website, Linda. I thought it looked really nice.
Yeah, it's really, we carried the colors, forward. So I guess one thing I would ask you is I do have a scripted email that I'm using. I could email all of you with that. And I know that Paige, Gary Lapierre, is that his name? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Great. Okay. If some of you would like to forward that email to individuals who you think might be interested, I'll also attach a digital copy of the flyer as well. That has a QR code so that anyone just needs to hit their phone over the image and it'll take them straight to the website for more information.
I have one quick comment that just happened today. Because I was putting out the signs. I don't know what they're called, Sally. They look like
Yeah, correct signs, street signs.
street signs. It's the very first street sign that I put out at Fort Silken Park in the entrance. A woman completely stopped me and she said, "Awesome. When are you showing all those movies here?" And I thought that was a really interesting idea. So not one maybe has been discussed before, but I explained to her the whole concept of what it was. And she's like, "This is awesome. When are you going to show all those films here at the park?" Maybe later in the summer. I mean, that could be a whole film movie thing.
Well, to your point, Lonnie, the thing is too, I know that some film festivals, what they do is they show the films that won awards. And they do that later on in the year when the weather's a little nicer and the like. So who knows, that could work out really well.
I think it's a really interesting idea. I was only thinking through the film through our gala event, but really the award winners should get potentially should have a movie night.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. And not mine, this totally random individual, and she was awesome.
That's so much better than what I thought you were going to say is, and then she just ripped it right back out of the ground.
No, she wanted to, she's just like, "Whenever you're going to show those movies, let me know and I'm going to be here."
She crumpled it up and threw it right back at me.
It was awesome. It was just, yeah. So that shows me that the public is hungry to have some of these events, and she just thought I was putting up a regular movie flyer, that a movie was going to be shown there. And then I explained it was competition, and she was fully willing to elaborate on that. So,
and I should mention very quickly, Sally, we had reached out to the Grand Theater and gotten permission to post flyers of our event in their lobby. And Paul Richter, the director of education, he reached out to me and said that the Grand would be happy to roll an ad for our event between screenings of their films. And so Sally has connected with Rachel and has sent content over to the Grand, and they will be showing that as they show their standard indie films as well.
So cool.
Yeah. Pretty
So
great.
would we be able to do like some of that kind of advertising at the Regal, I mean, not the Regal, but the AMC theaters in the town center as well, like to don't they have like local advertising like way before the trailers of all the upcoming movies? I don't know, just a thought. I don't know how much
Well,
that
that's
stuff
a-
is, and I haven't been to
that's
a
a
movie
good
in 2
point.
years.
That's a good point, Earl. I mean, that's how I found my dentist. So, I mean, to your point, yeah, they do. I mean, I don't know what something like that might cost, but yeah, it might be worth investigating.
And
Yeah.
and we could maybe even advertise people that want to enter as well, because I think this is I've since you brought this up, I've always thought this was like a very engaging, dynamic idea for our community, because we don't do this, and this has been a very popular venue in other cities, and so I think this could get a lot of traction within the community, and I think that the more you get get the word out there, and the more entries you're going to have. So
Yeah, well, it's pretty encouraging, having just opened that we've already got 3. So that's
Yeah.
pretty neat. Yeah. So I'll send out that email, including the flyer, to everyone on the Arts Commission, so that you can take a look at that, and you're able to post it to your Facebook page or what have you. I'm not real savvy on social media, but Sylvie, you and I think we joined the Tacoma Film Alliance. Our group picture is still up there on their website. I don't know to what extent that is something that people are doing any meetups over in the time of COVID, but I looked to see if I could post something there, and I couldn't. And I was wondering if, because your name comes up when I put your name, if you might be able to do that on their bulletin board.
So your name's not on there?
It isn't, for whatever reason, but yours shows up. So I don't
It
know
was
if I got the
Tacoma
boot.
Film Alliance?
Yeah, Tacoma Film Alliance.
I'll take a look.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. Appreciate it.
Can you send me the?
I will. I'll send the email to you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, will do. Thank you. I think that's it from me, Sally.
Okay. Thank you for a wonderful meeting. And we'll see you at our December Arts Commission meeting. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks.